Good morning. In this session, I shall be discussing about the sporophyte and alternation of generation in Funaria. This topic is included in the unit Bryophytes of the second semester. I am Shobha Rani, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Chikbalapur. Before we discuss about the sporophyte, let us have a recap of sexual reproduction in Funaria. Sexual reproduction in Funaria is oogamous. Male reproductive structure is known as antheridium and the female as archegonium. Funaria is monoecious and autoicous. That is, the male and female reproductive sex organs are borne on different branches of the same gametophyte. Male sex organ is antheridium and it is formed in groups on the antheridial branches. They are enclosed by special leaves called perigonial leaves. A large number of long multicellular hairs interspersed with antheridia are called paraphyses. They contain chloroplast and are involved in photosynthesis. They protect antheridial head by minimizing transpiration and secrete mucilage which helps in the liberation of anthrozoids. Each antheridium is protected by a single layer of jacket. It encloses a large mass of androcytes. The androcytes transform into biflagellate antherozoids or the male gametes. The female sex organ are archegonia and are borne in clusters on the archegonial branch. Archegonial branch arise laterally at the base of the male branch. They are surrounded by perichetial leaves. Paraphyses are also present. Each archegonium is flask-shaped and is distinguished into a large venter and a long neck region. The venter contains venter canal cell and an egg. The neck contains neck canal cells. Water is essential for fertilization. Raindrops help in the transfer of anthrozoids from antheridial head to the archegonial head. The anthrozoids are attracted to the archegonium through chemotaxis or chemotactically. A large number of anthrozoids enter the neck of the archegonium, but only one fuses with the egg to form a diploid zygote. The diploid zygote represents the first cell of the sporophytic generation and divides to form a sporophyte. Now let us move on to the sporophytic phase. As discussed earlier, the zygote is the first cell of sporophytic phase. Development of sporophyte takes place within the venter of the archegonium. If we look into the structure of the sporophyte of Funaria is semi-parasitic in nature. The mature sporophyte can be differentiated into three distinct parts, that is foot, seta and capsule. Foot is the basal portion of the sporogonium. It is small, dagger-like conical structure embedded in the apex of the female branch. It functions as anchoring and absorbing organ. Seta is a long, slender, stalk-like hygroscopic structure. It bathes the capsule at its tip. It raises the capsule above the apex of the leafy gametophore. Its internal structure is more or less similar to that of the axis. The epidermis is followed by thick-walled cortex which surrounds the axial cylinder. It's mechanical in function and also conducts the water and nutrients to the developing capsule. The capsule is the terminal part of the sporophyte and is developed at the apex of the seta. It is green in color when young, but on maturity it becomes bright orange colored. It is covered by a cap-like structure called calyptra. Gametophytic tissue develops from the upper part of the archegonium. Now if we look into the internal structure of the capsule, the longitudinal section of the capsule shows that it can be differentiated into three distinct regions, that is apophysis, theca and operculum. Apophysis is the basal sterile part of the capsule. It is bounded by a single layered epidermis which is interrupted by stomata. The stomata have single ring-like guard cells. Below the epidermis is the spongy parenchyma. The central part of the apophysis is made up of elongated, thin-walled cells forming a conducting strand. It is called neck of the capsule. It is the photosynthetic region and connects seta with the capsule. Now if you look into the theca region, it is the middle, slightly bent, spore-bearing region of the capsule. It lies between apophysis and operculum region. If we look into the details of the theca region, the epidermis is the outermost layer. It is single layered with or without stomata. Hypodermis is present below the epidermis. It consists 2 to 3 layers of compactly arranged colorless cells. The spongy parenchyma consists of 2 to 3 layers of loosely arranged chlorophyllous cells. It is present inner to the hypodermis. These cells are capable to manufacture their own food but dependent on gametophyte for water and mineral nutrients. Therefore, the sporophyte of Funaria is partially dependent on the gametophyte. The air spaces are present next to the spongy parenchyma and outside the spore sacs. Air spaces are traversed by elongated green parenchymatous cells, that is chlorenchymatous cells called trabeculae. The spore sacs are present below the air spaces or either side of the columella. It is U-shaped and broken at the base. It separates its both arms. It has an outer wall of 3 to 4 cell thick and an inner wall that is single cell thick. Between the outer wall and the inner wall is the cavity of the spore sac. When young, the cavity of the spore sac is filled with many spore mother cells. At maturity, the spore mother cell divide by meiotic division and form many haploid spores. The columella is the central part of the theca region. It is made up of compactly arranged colorless parenchymatous cells. It is wide above and narrow below, connecting the central strand of apophysis. It helps in conduction of water and mineral nutrients. Now let us move on to the operculum region. Operculum is the upper region of the capsule. It is dome-shaped and consists 4 to 5 layers of cells. The outermost layer is thick-walled called epidermis. Operculum is differentiated from theca by a well-marked constriction. Just below the constriction, there is a diaphragm or a rim. It is composed of 2 to 3 layers of elongated pitted cells. Immediately above the rim is the annulus, which consists of 5 to 6 superimposed layers of cells. Its upper cells are thick, but 2 lowermost layers of the cells are thin. Annulus separates the theca from the operculum. Below the operculum lies the peristome. Peristome is attached below to the edge of the diaphragm. The peristome consists of 2 rings of radially arranged peristomial teeth. In each ring, there are 16 teeth. The teeth are non-cellular, but they are simply the strips of the cuticle. The teeth of the outer ring are conspicuous red with thick transverse bands, while the teeth of the inner ring are small, delicate, colorless, without transverse bands. Inner to the peristome teeth lies a mass of thin-walled parenchymatous cells. The fertile region in the capsule comprises archisporium, lined by outer and inner spore sac. Archisporium is endothelial in origin. Its cells may undergo subdivisions to form 2 cell layers, thick spore mother cells, which by meiosis form tetrads of spores. Elaters are absent. Now let us look into the dehiscence of capsule. Finaria is a stegocarpous moss. That is, dehiscence along a predetermined line takes place. Dehiscence of the capsule is achieved by breaking off of annulus. As the capsule matures, it becomes inverted due to epinasty. The thin-walled cells of the annulus breaks away, the operculum is thrown off, and the peristome teeth are exposed. The outer peristomial teeth, also referred as exostome, are hygroscopic. The inner peristomial teeth, called as endostome, do not show any hygroscopic movement but act as a sieve, allowing only a few spores to disperse at a time. The lengthening and shortening of the outer peristomial teeth help in the dispersal of spores. In high humidity, the exostome absorbs water, increases in length, and curve inwards. In dry weather, the exostome teeth lose water, bend outward with jerky movements. It allows the dispersal of spores from the capsule in installments. At maturity, the seta also show jerky movements. Twisting and swinging of the seta in dry weather further aids in the dispersal of spores. Now let us look into the structure and germination of spore. Spore is the first cell of the gametophytic phase. Each spore is spherical, around 2 to 20 microns in diameter, and surrounded by 2 wall layers. The outer wall is thick, smooth, brown, and known as exosporium, while the inner wall is thin, hyaline, and called endosporium. Spore wall encloses single nucleus, chloroplast, and many oil globules. Under favorable condition, that is when there is sufficient moisture, spore germinates. Exosporium ruptures and the endosporium comes out in the form of 1 or 2 germ tubes. Each germ tube is multicellular, green with oblique septa. The germ tube grow in length, divide by septa to form green algal-like filament structure called primary protonema. The primary protonema is the juvenile or the young stage of the gametophyte formed by the germination of spore. It forms two different types of branches. Most of the branches grow horizontally on the moist surface of the soil and are known as chloronemal branches. They are positively phototrophic, thick and rich in chloroplast, while some branches grow down in the soil and are called rhizoidal branches. They are non-green, thin and possess oblique septa. These branches can develop chlorophyll if exposed to light. Rhizoidal branches functions as anchoring and absorbing organs, while chloronemal branches develop minute green buds behind the cross walls which develop into leafy gametophores. From one primary protonema, many moss plants develop. So the moss is gregarious in habit. Primary protonema is short-lived. It is positively phototropic but never produces buds. Nearly after 20 days, chloronemal stage matures into colonemal stage. This stage is characterized by regular branching brown cell walls, oblique cross walls and few chloroplasts. It is negative, phototropic and produce buds which later develop into leafy gametophores. Rhizoids arise from the base of the bud. The life cycle of Funaria is haplodiplontic type. In the life cycle, free-living haploid gametophyte alternates with the semi-parasitic diploid sporogonium, that is the sporophyte. In this type of alternation of generation is called heteromorphic or heterologous. In Funaria, the main plant body is free-living gametophyte, that is haploid, which exists in two forms, that is protonema, the juvenile gametophyte, and leafy gametophore, the adult gametophyte. Now let us look into the summary of this session. Zygote is the first cell of the sporophytic phase. Development of sporophyte takes place within the venter of the archegonium. The sporophyte or the sporogonium in Funaria produces spores asexually. Meiosis takes place before spore formation. A mature sporogonium is born at the end of the female branch. It is differentiated into a massive foot, a long seta, and a pear-shaped capsule. The foot is embedded in the apical tissue of the female branch. It absorbs water and nutrients from the gametophyte. The seta is a long stalk. It carries capsule at its apex. The capsule is pear-shaped, highly organized, spore-producing structure. The young capsule is green, but later it becomes dark orange or brown in color. The apical part of the capsule is covered with the remains of ruptured calyptra. The capsule has considerable differentiation of tissues. The capsule is differentiated into apophysis, theca, and operculum. The cells constituting the wall of the capsule contain chloroplast in them. The apophysis is the lowermost sterile region and connects the capsule with the seta. The epidermis contains stomata which helps in exchange of gases. The cells of the apophysis are photosynthetic, hence the sporophyte of Funaria is partially depends on the gametophyte. The theca is the middle part and is a fertile region of the capsule. It consists of central columella surrounded by spore sac. The spore sac is surrounded by single cylindrical air sac traversed by delicate filaments made up of parenchymatous cells called trabeculae. The trabeculae extends from the outer wall of the spore sac to the innermost layer of the capsule wall. The spore sac contains spore mother cells which undergo meiotic division to produce haploid spores. The apical region consists of the operculum and peristome. The operculum is the lid of the capsule and comes out as a circular cup-shaped lid after the dehiscence of the capsule. The peristome has one or two rings of thickened tooth-like projections found on the top of the capsule. Each ring consists of 16 teeth-like structures. They are hygroscopic and help in the dispersal of spores. During favorable condition, the spores germinate to produce thread-like green branched structure called protonema. It produces rhizoids and number of lateral buds which develop into new plants. In the life cycle of Phaneria, the haploid gametophytic phase alternates with the diploid sporophytic phase and shows alternation of generation. So, this was a brief description about the sporophyte and alternation of generation in Phaneria. Thank you.